Hello, hello, and good morning. Welcome to the Be Unforgettable Morning Show. I am your host, Shonda Joy Harrington. It's good to be back with you all again. We're on another platform, but guess what? We still gonna make it do what it do. And so here we have unforgettable guests who are doing the doggone thing. They are leaving an impact and making a legacy. And so I'm so excited this morning to have our featured guest with us. He's gonna tell you all about himself, but I just am so grateful for the opportunity to have him on today. So he is our featured guest. His name is Dr. Jason Henderson, and this is Autism Month. And so what a pleasure to have him on for such a time as this. And so I'm going to invite Dr. Jason to the stage. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing?
I am well. It's so good to see you and to have you on the show.
Minister, thank you for welcoming me to your show. This is an amazing opportunity, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Listen, I enjoy all that you're doing. And so one of the things that I like to do when the guests come on is I like to have them introduce themselves, because who knows you better, right, than you? And so I don't want to leave anything out. And so I am going to pass the mic like we do in Clubhouse, right?
Right.
Pass the mic. That's right. I'm going to pass the mic to you. And if you will, let the people know who you are, what you do, and let's get into it.
Yeah. Well, my name is Dr. Jason Henderson. The doctor is from being a physical therapist of almost 30 years. And I'm in the Washington, D.C. area. And I'm here now in one of my clinics in Washington, D.C. at Providence Hospital. And this is where I serve the community, and I enjoy what I do. Being a physical therapist and a professional, I got into doing film a few years where I wanted to move. Instead of doing research in the field of physical therapy, I got into edutainment. KRS-One, he tagged this ideal about education and entertainment. And so I chose to go this route where I could share my subject matter expertise in physical therapy, but also to be able to put my information in documentaries and to teach from a less scholastic approach, if you will, and moving towards documentaries. My first documentary, I Am a Martial Artist, won. It features a project that I started working about 5 years ago in Washington, D.C. Okay. I wanted to address health disparities in D.C. And one of the growing concerns was the raising of the number of African-American children on the spectrum, the autism spectrum disorder, that there was a rise of almost 200% over a 15-year period. And it was affecting a community that reflectively looked like me. And I got into working with children in wards 7 and 8 in DC, which is considered a disparate, right? A health disparate. And the people in the population in that area oftentimes fall to some of the health disparities that where you see African American at the top of the list. And one of those is autism. And so since this is Autism Month, I'm thankful to be on your show to be able to talk about it.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for the work that you're doing. We need you. We as the patients, we need someone like you who you have the inside scoop. You have the behind the scenes scoop. And so for you to notice that there's a problem, it means that there is a problem, right? We say it all the time as the patient. And our voices are heard or they're not, depending on who we're talking to. But for you to be the professional and to see what's happening and to lend your voice to make things better, kudos to you. So thank you so very much for the great work that you are doing. And so you are doing the edutainment. Did I get it right? Edutainment?
Edutainment, yes.
I love that, because the reality is a lot of people learn in environments where it's less aggressive, if you will. And so to be entertained, something about what happened and the connection that they make with the information will help them to retain it even more. So that's excellent. I love what you're doing and how you're going about doing this. And so what, may I ask, what inspired you to make your documentary, I Am a Martial Artist? You know, I want to say artiste, but I'm going to keep it less bougie and say artist.
Yeah, you know, one of them was I have a nephew, and my nephew was on the spectrum, and over the years he was challenged by the school system. He was left back twice before they even recognized that he was diagnosed, that he was on the spectrum. And we see that a lot with research in America. Oftentimes people of color are left out. You know, so when we're looking at statistics and analysis, a lot of times we're not inclusive. So inclusion is very important to me. My voice, to have my voice heard in the disparity of autism was important. And the third was social responsibility, you know, that I'm a business owner. I've been an entrepreneur, a business owner for over 20 years in the District of Columbia, and trying to stay relevant to the community so that we give back to the community. And I give back by a passion of mine, which is martial arts. I get a chance to go and work with the kids. I utilize my physical therapy skills. It is important.
Yes.
And then also, it also from a building confidence, teaching children with autism to build confidence, and also learning how to protect themselves.
Absolutely.
Is important, and to also develop disciplinary skills, controls, mechanisms that help them overcome certain areas that we might define as a disability, but we learn to train in ability.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I always say that it's a different ability because they are so gifted and so amazing in what they're able to do. And so I kudos to you for that. Thank you so much again. And that's really a shame, you know, that they didn't catch it, but you know, I don't want to turn this on myself, but I have two little black boys, two sons, and I noticed very early in their elementary education that even though I was there, I was able to be a present mom. I am a realtor, so I'm able to kind of set my own schedule. I was at every field trip. I was a team, what's it called, a room parent. I was there, and even as much as I was there, they chose not to inform me about the important things that would leave a record or things that we would have to catch up on. Even when I continue to ask, hey, how are they doing? Is there anything that I can do to help them? Oh, no, they're doing fine. And then I got to report cards and I'm like, no, they're not. So how is it that I'm there every day, right? And still asking the questions, showing you that I'm involved, and you're still choosing not to inform me. So what about the parents that have to work that can't be there? That's what I always say. What about that? And where's the responsibility of the educators or the school system to then fill in that gap? And so I can't imagine. I was able to be there and we still missed some things. And so, you know, that I'm so sorry to hear about your nephew, but I'm glad that he has an uncle like you who has decided to do something about, you know, the situation. So I'm really glad to hear that. So the film has won many global film festival awards. And so how do you get involved in the film festivals? And yes, congratulations to you. Like, school us. Would you know, I'm a little old school, so I got some old terminology. Can you school us real quickly on that?
Oh man, I'm thankful, you know, changing my own narrative. One, I am a physical therapist. That's not going to change, right? And I have other interests, right? So I wanted to become a filmmaker, and I wanted people to respect me as a filmmaker. And to change that narrative was not easy, right? So I had to do what filmmakers would do. So I signed up for Film Freeway. Film Freeway, for those who may be filmmakers out there who want to put their projects on platforms. Film Freeway is a free web hosting that you could submit film festivals into film festivals. I also do music, so I put music videos into film festivals, my documentary, and also I have a feature film series that I put into different film festivals. And they'll show you, once you submit your work, that you could find film festivals all over the globe. And interestingly, that I'm a martial artist have been featured into several continents. It's been in Asia, it's been in Africa, it's been in South America, it's been in Canada, and in Australia.
Wow.
So people are looking for, across the globe, new narratives.
Yes.
They're looking for new narratives, right?
Yes.
And one of the things I always ask before I submit my work is, one, do you appreciate African American work? Because you want to see if people respect our culture, right? The culture of African Americans is important in film, and how we are depicted is important. So this is a nonfiction documentary on activism. I brought together 20 subject matter experts that I interviewed, subject matter experts in doctors, therapists, leadership trainees, inclusion and specialists, all who are interviewed into this documentary. So they get a chance to see African Americans address a concern for African Americans through Black love, right? And some places I'm not, I wasn't welcome here in America. My film was not received everywhere, but places like India, they received this, and it brought many of them to tears to see what African American children go through, right? And to hear our own trying to address a concern that's global, right? Autism is global,
absolutely.
Right? It has one in Singapore, it has one in India, it's one in Africa, South Sudan. It was one of the best film festivals that it was placed in. All throughout the U.S., it's been featured in some amazing film festivals here in America. And I'm excited for this film to come out to duplicate the same success, because the narrative now is a coming of age. It's a coming of age. So Minister Howerton, you have to imagine, in the first film, you're going to see kids who were maybe 7. Now, it takes time to make a film. I'm showing you where they might be 10. And then the next film, they're 12. And so they're growing up in the martial arts. And it's exciting.
Very good. And so that really leads me to my next question, because I wanted to know who was featured in the film. And so you have so go ahead. I'm not going to steal that thunder. Go ahead.
You asked a really good question. This film is a little different than the first. The first film, I wanted to hear from subject matter experts, African-American subject matter experts, about the concern of autism. This one, I took a different approach. I actually, being a martial artist, I got a chance to sit down with African-American martial artists and those who are masters and grandmasters of the martial arts, and had discussions with them about how do we improve our skills and working with children get on the mat who are diagnosed with autism, so that they too could train in martial arts. So there's Grandmaster Kirby Sanders is featured. He is my grandmaster, right? He trained me from white belt to black belt. And Grandmaster Kirby, he is special when it comes to working with children. You're going to see it in the film when he's working with not only 5 and 6-year-olds, but when he gets to working with 13, 14, and 15-year-olds, your approach changes, right? And so Grandmaster Kirby is amazing. He was trained by Grandmaster Terry Motley, who is over Master Technician in Maryland, Master Technician Taekwondo Center, which he also trained me as well. He's my grandfather in the martial arts.
Wow.
And Grandmaster Terry Motley, he and we traveled in competition, and he was my coach. He's my trainer. And so he's featured, and you get a chance to go into his dojo. Kids are going to get a chance to see them go into their dojo, where my kids who have autism get a chance to spar with kids who don't have autism. Comparisons, right?
Yes.
And you get a chance to hear from some amazing masters of martial arts. There's Master John Butler. He actually trains in combat kung tao, another martial arts. It's a Filipino style martial arts, and he's featured in there. And to hear the men that are featured is awesome. There is a kung fu, two kung fu martial artists. There's Shifu Aaron Keys, who's he's under the age of 30, and he is competing globally, right? He took the time to be on this documentary, and you get a chance to hear from him. And then there's Master Daryl Player. He's also on the Kung Fu side. And I get a chance to watch them train their kids. I watch their classes, and I take little tidbits from them, and I take it to my class. So you get a chance to hear from them. But I had to bring back one of the speakers from the first film.
Okay.
And she is on fire. Dr. Afriye Emerson. If you have not seen the first film, you want to see Dr. Afriye Emerson. She's a black belt from DC. She trained since she was a little girl, and she became a black belt before she got into high school. And she talked about her successes in martial arts, how it moved her to become an OBGYN, how she graduated from very esteemed universities, and she was able to pledge Delta Sigma Theta. She's a high advocate for activism, and she's an amazing person, a good friend. And we get a chance to meet her. She's also a black belt. So all of us, and there's more. There are more martial artists, and then you get a chance to meet my kids from Ice Fire Martial Arts. Ice Fire Martial Arts is the children who are on the spectrum.
Okay.
And these kids are beautiful. They're African American kids from the ages. The youngest is about 5, and the oldest is 16. And just watching them grow in the arts is amazing.
Well, first of all, what's amazing is you're able to keep their attention and keep them focused and engaged. That in itself, just being an auntie, that's a lot. So that's amazing. That's awesome. I want to ask you a question, because this is really great. I think it's going to be wonderful to see all of the professionals in their vein, in their art form, really just doing it, right? And so how long because that's a lot of training that I heard you say. So how long have you been in martial arts?
Yeah, you know what? The interesting thing for me is I didn't start martial arts till after the age of 40.
What?
So it wasn't something that I did my whole life. I picked it up working on areas of improvement in my own life. When I chose to put alcohol out of my life, to move away from alcohol completely, that moment that I chose to do that, I picked up martial arts. And martial arts have been a part of my own development for focus, and I was about 41 or 42 when I started, and it was just something that I needed to replace an area of my life that I think there was just it was just time to turn the pages. It was time to recommit, to re-energize, find refocus by removing a
Mhm.
lifestyle that was not as productive as I am now.
Man, I hope someone somewhere is watching, and hears you clearly to replace, something that is really destroying them from the inside out. It's not just destroying you from the inside, right? It can destroy relationships. It can destroy families, depending on how out of control you allow it to get. And so to be able to have enough wherewithal to say, one, I need to let this go, right?
Amen.
Whatever the connection was, it's time to let this go. But it's time to refocus onto something that's going to be positive. And then look what God has done. I mean, look where we are. This is amazing. And you're just getting started. You know that, right?
To God to be the glory. Yes, this is just kind of like the scratching of the surface of where I see it going.
Absolutely.
One, I think I give God the glory, but I really elevate the many martial artists that are in the, not just in the DMV, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. I'm talking about there are a lot of martial artists that look like you and me, look like us, that are African American, that pour into children, that are like ministers. They use martial arts as a ministry, right? And when I stepped into it, I realized some of the great martial artists, the grandmasters, the masters who spend time with our children or your children, and pouring into them quality characters, as you would see a teacher, a minister, a coach. It's important in our community that we raise these men and women who have a common goal to see children develop.
Absolutely. And they're taking time. They're taking their time, sometimes even away from their own families to build up those kids that are a part of the program, and the adults and whoever else that are part of the program. And so, absolutely. Thank you. We have my husband has one of his best friends is, now don't let me mess this up, but he is a Kung Fu master. I don't know. You say the right word, but he's here in Richmond, but he's amazing. But his dedication to it, and just like you have to have a heart for what you do. So I can't wait to see the film. Yes. And so listen, before we've been talking about the film, I have a few more questions that I want to ask, and then I would love for you to share the day and time that it's going to be released, so we'll know where to be. Like, we want to be where the party's at, right? So you gotta let us know when it's going down.
That's right.
And quickly, before we get into that, I'm curious, because how much was the budget to make the film?
Oh wow! The budget has been something that myself and my business partner, that we absorbed as a physical therapy company, Ergo Ahmed in DC. We invest into the community. We invest in education, but we also had to learn to invest in entertainment. So the first film, it was about a $30,000 budget,
Okay.
to pull that off, right? And so this one was a little bit more. So being able to make a film, I realized I read up on how to do these things and how to invest, and it's over a period of time. So it's not just all at one time.
Okay.
It's investments probably by month, and you could track it. And we look at it as a bottom line number. So for this film, it was about $37,000.
Okay.
It required travel. You take kids to tournaments and tournament fees, and because you get a chance to see the kids. This time, different than the first film, you get a chance to see us take these kids to compete, right? And that was my goal of this film, was to give people a chance to say, okay, we've seen them as little kids, like, okay, 7, 8-year-olds. Now they're 10, and it's like a 10-year-old should be performing or competing and really trying to showcase their skills. And to capture that was the greatest part of the film for me. For us to go to different dojos and see the kids compete against other kids, to see where they measure up. And that's important. So we talk about, so the budget for that was about 37. So
Wow, that's awesome. And I'm sorry I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just thinking, but to hear that, I think that's really good because, as we say, they're going to be amazing people just like yourself who have something on their heart that they want to participate in and do documentaries for. And so I think letting them hear real numbers is really important because at least it gives them an idea of what to work towards so that they can get the result that they're looking for. So I thank you so much for that. And I can't wait to see, because I love how you said they get to compete with kids who don't have autism, and you get to see the skill set and how they've been able to and just I can't wait to see how that looks. And I'm just so really grateful about this, because the fact that this is also a means for them to protect themselves. I just think that is so important, because the world is what it is. It's not, people are who they are. And so not everybody understands the different abilities of amazing kids with autism. And so for them to not even have to live a life where they feel threatened because they know what they have within is amazing. I thank you so very much for that. And so before we get ready to wrap up, can you tell us a little bit about so the movie, I Am a Martial Artist too, and is there a book or is it just a movie?
it's a book too. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. So, the responsible party, I'm sorry, not the party, the responsibility of a doctor of any profession, we learn to write. And so I learned the gift of writing, right? And writing what I put together. So all my films, I have to write a book to it because I have to share the blueprint, and they go hand in hand. So it's part of a package. You develop the documentary, and me at the same time that I wrote or directed in directing and producing, you have to write. It allows you to listen to other people when you're interviewing, and you can quote from there. And then when I learned to write, from passion, but also when I went to my MBA program, I learned how to write more constructive, and I did a lot of papers for class. So I learned to transform my own writing to publish. And as I mentioned earlier, I don't have a desire to publish like for research, for physical therapy. I wanted to write from a place of nonfiction where I could tell my side of the story, and I'll leave a legacy through my books, right?
Yes.
So I'm a Martial Artist 2 and 1 are both available on Amazon. You can find the book on Amazon. If you search my name, Jason Henderson, in the books, or the title, I Am a Martial Artist, AUTIST. And that was a spin on martial artist. I just moved the U into where the R was.
And is that because of autism? Because that's the kids that, okay, I just wanted to make sure. Yes, absolutely. I love that. And so I love that. And see, that's the thing. We learn from each other. That's how we get stronger. Iron sharpens iron. I love that concept of developing the documentary and then using that content and to also help write the blueprint. And that right there is amazing. You that's Dr. Jason, y'all. I love that. That is so awesome. And so I know that your books are available on Amazon. And so when will the movie be featured, and how can people watch it? And then how can they also connect with you?
Yeah, you could connect with me on Instagram, Jason's Revelation, or you can find me at Icefire Martial Arts. Icefire is ICEFYRE Martial Arts, and that's on Instagram. And then you can always find me on Facebook, Facebook Direct. Jason Henderson. You can find me DC. Not hard to find. Feel free to follow me. The film I'm a Martial Artist, the first one, it's on Amazon Prime, and it's also on Tubi as we speak. On Tubi, it's free. Go and watch it. Please leave comments. Let me know what you think about it. You can see it for free. You get commercials there. If you want to pay a few dollars and don't have the commercials, you can go to Amazon. I'm a martial artist too. I want to present it. I'm gonna present it to those same platforms to see if I could get it on there again.
Okay.
When I air it, I want to air it as a watch party. April 28th. I would love to show the film at 3:30 to about 5:30. It's about a 90-minute film. And once again, you get a chance to meet some amazing children and amazing martial artists in this film. And you'll see me in there a bit too.
Because I was gonna say that I heard everybody. I heard about everybody else, but I don't know that I heard so much about you. So I love that. Yeah. But you'll make some cameo appearances in there as well. Is that right?
Yeah. A lot of times I was behind the camera a lot, shooting this documentary, and being behind the camera, it was tough. You could hear my voice. But a lot of times in the film, I'm like, man, you don't see me. But that's okay because I like not being the subject. I like being behind the camera and directing. And you can hear me directing. You'll see Grandmaster Kirby Sanders, and he is amazing. You'll see Grandmaster Terry Motley. He is amazing. And then you'll hear from interviews from some amazing martial artists. So I'm excited about the film, of course. But realistically, I'm hoping that it reaches the African-American community and others. I'm looking forward to duplicate what we did with the first. And my hope is that it glorifies the Most High.
Absolutely. I believe it will. And I'm just so glad you talked about all of those, the others who are amazing, but we're glad to have you here on our show because you are amazing. So thank you again for the work that you're doing. I'm looking forward. I hope I'm in the number. I'm looking forward to being at the watch party on April 28th at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so if anybody wants to join in, is the watch party for a private group of people, or is it open to the public? How are we going about doing this? Do you know yet?
Yeah, right now I would like to have it for the public, for people who are not in the DC area. I do want to have a private showing that will be at a theater locally, red carpet, and do it up in a big style. Hopefully you'll come on up to DC.
Absolutely.
And host.
Absolutely. I'll get in my car and drive on up.
Y'all come on up. Y'all come on up and host this, right?
Absolutely, yes.
We would absolutely love it. And just in respect of Autism Month, April is Autism Month. And so I feel the obligation to do something this month.
Absolutely.
And so being able to be on your show, man, this is amazing. This is truly amazing to be hosted on your show. And I want to say thank you.
You're very welcome. I am excited about what you're doing. And I said it before, and I really mean it, that you're just getting started. So I hope that you'll come back as you continue to put out. Let me tell you all a little bit about Dr. Jason before we wrap up. Not only is he doing movies and books, but he has a music that he's putting out. I mean, and so I encourage you. He did last month was
Women's History Month.
Women's History Month, and he has an amazing song, and it just kept playing in my head, even in the mornings. I was like, "Yeah, I'm the CEO." What? You know what I mean? I love it. It was was really nice. It was very encouraging, and so thank you for just being conscious of and in tune to the community and what's needed. And I love one thing that you said, and I'm just gonna say this as we get ready to wrap up. That you said, staying relevant. You've been doing this, in the community. You've been a physical therapist for 30 years. Is that right? I'm not sure if you're old enough to do it for 30 years, but that's what you said, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so, staying relevant, because that's one of the things. If you don't stay relevant, you will fizzle out. And so you want to make sure, and I appreciate you for doing that and finding different ways to stay upbeat, because your energy is amazing. So staying upbeat and attracting persons who really need what you have. And so kudos to you for that. And so, Dr. Jason, it has been a pleasure to have you on the Be Unforgettable Morning Show. Continue to make an impact and continue leaving a legacy. And we salute you, sir.
Yeah, and I salute you, the Unforgettable Show. You want to make sure you continue to follow this show, continue to follow it, because I just believe, Minister Howerton, you are the bomb.
Oh, thank you so much. And
Yeah.
I'm not paying him to say that, y'all. I'm just love to say.
That's right.
I appreciate you, sir, so much. Thank you so much. And
Yes.
thank you for being with us.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.